Hey everybody, I'm Zach Fitzpatrick, and this past Sunday in the warehouse, we began our new sermon series called Rediscover Christmas, in which we are rediscovering what Christmas is truly all about. And this past Sunday, we looked at the theme of hope, the hope that Jesus Christ brought into the world. To do so, we looked at Luke chapter 21, verses 25 through 36. And on the surface, this text doesn't appear to have anything to do with Christmas. In fact, it seems to be talking more about the second coming of Jesus than anything else. When we dig into this text, it seems to be one of doom and gloom, of hopelessness. But in the midst of this message, Jesus delivers us a message of true hope. He says that your redemption is drawing near. In the midst of hopelessness, hope. And this hope isn't just a wishful thinking. Paul describes hope as something that does not disappoint us in Romans chapter 5. And this led us to our first point, and that is this, that while the world offers empty hope, Jesus is the realized hope. To dig into this theme of Advent, this theme of Christmas a little bit deeper, we looked at a story of God's people in the Old Testament in Isaiah chapter 9. In Isaiah chapter 9, God's people have been disobedient over and over and over again, and God has promised that destruction, that punishment is coming. Jerusalem will be destroyed, and God's people will be exiled into a foreign land. It's as if that this is a biblical trail of tears, so to speak. But in the midst of what seems like a hopeless situation for the Israelites, Isaiah reminds them that a child will be born unto them. A Messiah, a promised Messiah, will come to save the world from its sins. And this led us to our second point, which was that hope is not lost despite the darkness. Hope is ever present because of the light of Jesus Christ. To close, we jump back to Luke chapter 21, and we looked at the second half of Jesus' statements here, in which he warns us to be ready. In this particular instance, he's warning us to be ready for his second coming. But as we enter this season of Advent, it's incumbent upon us to be ready not only for his second coming, but also to be ready to celebrate his first coming, because both will be here before we know it. And this led us to our third point, which was that the eternal hope of Christ calls us to responsibility, and it offers us assurance. It calls us to the responsibility to be ready, to make the investment to ensure that we are ready for both Christ's first coming, but also his second coming. And it also offers us assurance that the hope of Christ that only he offers will not disappoint us. In the midst of hopelessness, the Israelites back in the Old Testament knew that the best was yet to come. Better days were ahead. And as Christians, we have that same promise. The best is yet to come, because we hold on to the hope of Jesus Christ that does not disappoint us. Be ready this Christmas season.